All right, so we have a match against Dr. Monty. Dr. Monty is one of, if not the most aggressive player I've ever played in this game. He just goes all out. He's like Elmas Noob on the first play, where he'll walk up to your health tower, pop monkey on your back, pop rage, pop bananas. He does that. It's exactly what he does right here. And then he gets my tower down to about 5,000. He also plays bees right here. So I go ahead and play rage. Like, this is way too much for me to ignore. If I would have ignored that, that would have been, I mean, maybe game over at that point, because I would have been down heal tower really early. But from here, pretty standard. I just get my mini-mander down. I want to pressure a little bit with Major Fire, because if he takes damage consistently throughout this match, then he has to kind of respect that, and he can't be too aggressive, because I'm going to take his health tower down first. And I've started doing that against these really aggressive commanders, because they have to use their health towers as, or really their health as a resource, because they're tanking all that damage for their units. They're going up to towers, they're popping rage, they're taking rage towers from you, or damage from my Major Fire whenever they're trying to shoot my towers. So if they can't do that as much, then they obviously can't be as aggressive. So here he's playing Stir Your Bomb, and I've got teleporter in hand. So what I go ahead and do is teleport over the tower and then use the second stage to push him back. So my commander might have taken a little bit, but I don't think he did. But the good part of that is both mini-manders survive. So then that way I can pop rage. I have two mini-manders and myself shooting the tower, and we go ahead and take down the tower. I throw a drill here. I get the +2, and I'm out. So this is a good position for me early, because he's, you know, the level 12 is down his health tower. And, you know, these two level differences can be really brutal if you're not aggressive. Like, when you're going up against these kind of players, if you're at a really big level disadvantage like I am in this match, you have kind of two options. You can either be not aggressive and lose the match, or you can be as aggressive as them and maybe lose the match. So go ahead and take that gamble with being aggressive and just put pressure on them, because you might eke out a win. And in this match, I end up doing that. So I go ahead and try to tank for my Major Fire. He pushes me back, so it doesn't work, and he snipes it. But I get a little bit of chip damage with my mini-mander as well. So my rage tower is full. His rage tower is just under half, it looks like. So I'm in a decent spot right here. But what comes back to bite me is this duct tape. So the bees and duct tape, even though it's only one bee, that is a brutal combo. So he goes ahead and duct tapes early. I get it though, because bees have basically no damage. So this one bee just wails into me. I mean, I've already consumed my health tower drop, and I can't even get up to full health here. I'm like at 75%. So I'm gonna back this up just a little bit, because I kind of missed it. But he plays Stir Your Bomb again. I've got two mini-manders myself and like 5% of a Major Fire, which isn't going to do anything. But I go ahead and pop Rage Tower, because I know that the mini-manders are going to die. I want to at least get a couple shots from them, and, you know, they get 2 or 3 on tower, and then that ends up being enough for me. So that's why I did that play right there. Plus, I just needed damage. So here I'm pretty low, but his tower is also within a couple shots or a drill. And I go ahead and teleport around, because teleport heals you, and end up winning that match. So again, kind of like recap, against these really aggressive commanders that have levels on you, you need to be aggressive as well. You need to target health towers and just kind of play smart with what you've got. Okay, we have a match against McHulge here. This is a really long match. It's almost 5 minutes long. It really comes down to the very end. So McHulge, kind of like the Dr. Monty replay, is really aggressive. He's going to get on your tower. He's going to drop piranhas. He's going to drop rage tower. So again, same concepts as that other replay. Just be aggressive. So he plays Inhumane Cannonball first, and I've got drill. So he doesn't play that much. I think he might play it one more time. I forget, but he pretty much abandons that, which is the right play, because I'm going to get a +4 trade every single time with that. So I'm trying to put pressure on him with Major Fire, because, you know, he's obviously got to use his health, and if he can't use his health, then my units can do a little bit more damage. So uses duct tape, this card. I just delete it from the game. It is so ridiculous. He plays it one more time, and I think he gives up after that for Inhumane. My cycle's so fast. I mean, there's nothing that he can do to out-cycle that drill. So I get on tower with my Mini-Mander and my Major Fire and do a ton of damage to his health tower. Do we take it? I cannot remember. Yes, we do. So I push back the Piranhas into the Major Fire, which really helps because then he has to use his Rage Tower and finish it off. He ends up stealing my Major Fire, but I honestly don't even care about Troop Trap against this deck because I get back to another Major Fire so fast that I can just deal with it. It's not a big deal. So I'm at half health. He's just under half health, but he has a little bit more health because he's level 12. So I'm trying to do more chip damage. He plays Duct Tape there. If you are just starting to use Duct Tape, I'll just back it up a little bit to when he used it. There is no reason, I mean, unless he had to cycle a card maybe, there's really no reason to use Duct Tape here because Duct Tape only prevents it from being destroyed. It will stay at 1 HP while Duct Tape is on. If you use it when it's more than 1 HP, or I mean, I shouldn't say more than 1 HP, but if you use it when it's basically at full health like that was, it's useless because you're going to take that damage with or without Duct Tape. So I'm trying to cap Doe here with my Mini-Mander. He throws down his stolen Major Fire and uses Duct Tape on it. These huge plays, Duct Tape plays. So that gets destroyed. And I end up throwing down Mini-Manders and do a lot of damage on this Rage. Still, I thought he gave up the Inhumane. I'm not really sure why, unless that was a misplay, I'm not sure why he's trying to do that when my cycle, again, it's so fast and I'm obviously going to kill the Cannonball. All right, so from here, it is a wild ride, and I have spared you the torture, and I've sped this video up a little bit because the rest of this is basically just running around for 2 minutes. So on this map, at least, you know, players are taking damage, units are taking damage from these alligators, and we just run around the whole time. The good thing is he doesn't really have much that he can play that helps him. But I mean, he does have teleporter, but I do too. And so I'm using that to heal myself, and I end up getting him down to 1 HP. He tries one more time to Duct Tape himself, but then it's inevitable, and the match is over. So that was a really good match, very, very long. But again, be aggressive. Push units back. Teleporter in this deck is probably the most important card. You know, obviously Mini-Mander and Doe Barrel are probably the most important, but Teleporter is the underdog, and you can really make some interesting plays with Teleporter. This match is against Jay from VIP MMX, and I wanted to include a loss to show one of the weaknesses of this deck. Really, the only problem I've had with this deck is aggressive commanders that have really low-cost cycle decks with high damage units. So he's got both Caveman and Major Fire, which are some of the highest DPS for their cost in the entire game. They do some of the most damage in the game, period. I think only behind Van Gun, maybe, and Mr. Boom. I'd have to look at the numbers, but they do a ton of damage for 2 and 3 Doe. So it's just really hard to deal with because Major Fire is really the only damage dealer in this deck besides your commander. And they're able to just keep pumping units. These kind of decks are really annoying because it's like you're constantly treading water. You're trying to come up for air, but you really can't because once you've destroyed a unit, they've already got another card, probably the same card, right behind it that you have to deal with. So you're constantly down Rage Tower, you're constantly down health. It's just an uphill battle. So I try to be aggressive here, but it doesn't really work out. So I could play Rage here to defend, but I try to defend with a Major Fire. And it looks like he might have just tapped that Major Fire, because those 2 Major Fires should have killed each other, but the other one survived. I mean, my tower was down anyway, so it wasn't even worth defending. If it's one thing that you take away, don't over-commit on things. Like, if your tower is obviously gone, You don't need to defend it. Obviously, there's some situations where maybe you want to do that, like maybe it's the end of the match and there's 2 seconds left, and obviously defend it. But look, there's 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this match. If your tower is down to 1,000 health, that tower is gone. I don't care how hard you try to defend it, it's gonna get destroyed. Maybe at lower ladder you can maybe defend it, but when you're climbing ladder and you're approaching master or grandmaster, that thing's gone. So maybe you can make some plays to try to bait out a raid or something, pushing them back with teleporter, or I don't know. But it's pretty much gone. So just give up on the lost cause and don't freak out about it. So we have bees here, and I think yep, duct tapes the bee. This card is just, I don't know anybody that likes it. If you actually like duct tape, please comment below so that I know the one person that actually likes this card in the game. And I tried to go take his tower, but he's just going to teleport me back, I think, or kill me with bees. Yeah, that's a rough matchup. That's a lot of damage. He has bees, major fire, caveman, and duct tape. That is a tough matchup. But GG. But just be aware, like if you run into those kind of matchups on ladder, it's going to be pretty tough. All right, we have MastinO from Beretti Blue. And this starting play in this, there's a couple mistakes that he makes. And I'm going to point those out. I'm going to pause the video when this happens and just kind of point them out. So first play, he just throws down Mammoth and Rage Tower. He goes all in. So this is a play that, I mean, I've done this before. I like to wait a little bit on the Rage just to see if they're going to disc ray it or they have some other big counter. That's a big commitment right there. You throw down 8 dough on your Mammoth and then your Rage Tower. So you've taken one of your 2 most powerful abilities in the game as commander, which are Health Tower and Rage Tower, and then you dump almost all of your dough on the first push. So again, huge investment from him. So now he's just going Rage Tower on my tower. He does a significant amount of damage. So I go start to steal his dough barrel. He plays Dr. Death right here, which is 5 dough again. I mean, look at his dough bar. There's nothing there because he's spent everything. To play Dr. Death, I don't like that play. That's a lot of dough when he could have easily just walked over. I mean, first of all, he's positioned in between my towers, taking damage from both towers. So if you're thinking about, if you were him, if you're thinking about what can I do to improve, don't position yourself where you're taking damage from 2 places that you could just take it from 1. So he could just move down on the ramp on my health tower and just shoot my health tower if he really wanted to get it down that bad. But it's so early in the match that being this aggressive is, I don't know. It's not my style, I guess, to be that aggressive. But he throws down Dr. Death, which is, I mean, he does block me from getting his dough barrel, but kind of at what cost, right? He's got 3 dough, then he's back to 0 again when he snipes my major fire, and I've got a huge dough lead here with my mini mander. I'm about to get an even bigger one as we cap this barrel, and here's where I'm going to push in. I'm going to take my teleporter and go over and pop Rage. Now I have 2 mini manders, and I destroy his buck. Again, this buck was not really doing much. Although he played that before I popped Rage, so I can't really fault him on that. So that buck is toast. Then I've got 2 mini manders that are also raged. And he's shooting it from the ramp. So I threw Nightfall down because I wanted to get the most damage that I could out of these mini manders. So I forced him to walk up the ramp, and then he's going to still try to shoot one. But by the time he shoots it, that tower is down. And then we just do a little bit more damage on this left Rage Tower, and he goes into jetpack mode. He's in jetpack mode for the rest of the game. So my major fires are not going to get any value at all. Really, nothing but my mini manders are going to do any damage to him. I really wish that jetpack had a cooldown, like while you're in the air, maybe like 30 seconds. But this is the card we have right now. So I figure I'm going to go do some more damage on this. He plays bees, which is really not a bad play. He takes down both of my units. But it's 6 dough, and I'm still on his tower. Now at this point, I've got to be a little careful. So I'm gonna continue shooting this for a little bit, but I know that I can't take this long term because if you look at my health, I'm just above half, and all that I have is that drop from my health tower left, so that if I get in a pinch, I can use that. So he throws down Mammoth, and I just Rage Tower and clean that up pretty easily. But I've got to be a little conservative with my health now because I can't just go put myself in weird positions. He's got, I think he has B-Mine maybe. Maybe this wasn't the match. But I throw a drill to get it down into like one more drill territory to where I can either drill it once more or I actually end up just teleporting over and shooting it. So I think the reason that I did that was because teleport heals you for 1,000, and so I could get some health from that, shoot the tower, and now I've got 40 seconds left to close this match out. Now he throws down bees, which does a lot of damage. I probably should have just thrown teleporter on those so that it would push them back, but I'm not that good. So he throws Mammoth again, same play, then I discray it. I would have, if I were him, I would have given up on Mammoth at this point because you're just wasting dough. Like, he knows that I have discray. He probably should have been trying to cycle Dr. Deaths or something to put some pressure on me because I don't have health tower anymore. But we're at 10 seconds left, and he almost gets it, but I play a pretty good teleporter here. And he gets it down almost under 1,000, and then I push him back, and he slams in midfield. So that was a good match. But I think that will kind of show you how you can use teleport to your advantage, mini manders, just this deck in general.